Hi everyone, happy Sunday. I hope you had a great Christmas with your family and really had a good time celebrating with everyone that you care about and love so close to you. As we're finishing up the holiday season, there's one other more part of the Christmas story I wanted us to think about today. I don't know about you, but there are a lot of times I like to go out at night and kind of just look at the stars. A lot of times I go outside, I walk my dogs at night. It's kind of quiet around our house, not too many outdoor lights, so I can see the sky. And like one type of picture you can see over here, we've got the moon and that bright looking star next to it, that's Venus, which is actually a planet. And what's interesting about that is at certain times of the month, when Venus is just in the right spot, even though it's far away, we can see it. And it kind of looks like a star, but it's really not. It's a planet. And then I've got another picture for you. These are actual stars. You may have heard about the Little Dipper and the Big Dipper. And so a lot of times, look up to the night sky, you can see these as well. What's interesting about the stars is they're bright just like the Venus is. The stars stay in place. They're always constant. You can always find where you need to go with the stars. Where Venus might move around based on the fact that it's rotating around the sun, our stars are always going to be constant. And a long time ago, people used to actually use the stars instead of maps or anything else because that's what they had to navigate around the planet because they knew the stars were always going to be where they needed to be. They weren't going to change. They weren't going to move. And so that's a part of our Christmas story. If you remember, we had a very special star that was a part of Jesus' birth in Bethlehem. So I want to talk a little bit about that star today and the three wise men who are also following that star.
Far away from the city of Jerusalem, there lived a mysterious tribe of people called the Magi. The Magi were filled with wisdom and understanding, and they were respected by kings and other important people. As three of these wise men were gazing out into the sky one starry night, an unusually bright light shone, brighter than any star they had ever seen. They were amazed at what they saw, and were convinced it was a sign that a great king had been born. Quickly, they set out on a journey to find him. The same light that had caught the attention of the wise men also drew several shepherds out from the fields and into the quiet and lowly town of Bethlehem. The glory of God shone so brightly that they shook with fear. But an angel comforted them. "Don't be afraid. I bring good news for you and all people. The Messiah, your Savior, is born this very day." After a long journey, the wise men arrived in Jerusalem. As they rode through the city, they excitedly called out, "Where is the newborn King of the Jews?" They knew this king would be different than any other king before. This king was promised to bring peace and joy to all the nations of the world. Surely someone would know of his coming. "We have seen his star," the wise men declared, "and we are here to worship him." But no one knew where this child could be found. Herod, who called himself King of the Jews, was greatly troubled by the announcement of a new king, a king who might take his place. He met with the Jewish leaders and asked them where the Messiah was to be born. Then he arranged a secret meeting with the wise men and said to them, "Go and look for the Messiah in the town of Bethlehem, and when you find him, let me know so that I can also worship him." But secretly Herod did not want to worship the new king. He only wanted the wise men to discover where Jesus was, so he could have him killed. As the wise men left Jerusalem and headed toward Bethlehem, they once again saw the glorious light in the night sky. This light had led them many long miles from home, and now it would lead them right to the place where Jesus was. As the wise men drew closer, they were filled with excitement and wonder. When they stepped into the house, the wise men saw a young child with his mother Mary, and they fell to the ground and worshipped him. They gave Jesus gifts fit for a king, including costly treasures of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. The scene was incredible. The greatest of kings, born in the most unlikely of places. Mary took in every detail and tucked them away in her heart. She wanted to remember these precious moments for the rest of her life.
That's one of those awesome parts of our Christmas story, was how faithful the wise men were to follow that star. They were determined to find Jesus. They had heard the prophecy. They knew that he was coming to rescue the Jews and to be a great leader for all people. And so they were so excited to find him, even though it took them almost 2 years to finally find Jesus and his family. And when they found him, their first thought was to worship him and offer their service to him. And so that makes me think about one of our verses from the Bible, from Joshua 24:15. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. And that's always kind of that reminder that God gives so much to us, and we want to give back to him. And we give back to him through our time and presence in our church. You see Pastor Beth there. You see Miss Amy playing the piano and sharing music for the church. You see one of our scenes from Bible school where all of you guys get to come together and learn more about Jesus and how to serve him and live your life. And so that's what's so great about our relationship with God, is he sent Jesus to us to save all of us and to give us this wonderful life here and to take care of us once we go to heaven someday. And in our relationship with him, we get to give back to him to say thank you for all that he's done for us. Let's think about that with our song today.
We three kings of Orient are, bearing gifts we traverse afar. Field and fountain, moor and mountain, following yonder star. The star, born a king on Bethlehem's plain, gold I bring to crown him again. King forever, ceasing never, over a soul to reign. Oh, star of wonder, star of night, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light. Frankincense to offer have I, incense owns the deity nigh. Prayer and praising, all men raising, worship him, God most high. Oh, star of wonder, star of night, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light. Thy perfect light. Myrrh is mine, its bitter perfume breathes the life of gathering gloom. Sorrowing, sighing, bleeding, dying, sealed in the stone cold tomb. Glorious now, behold him arise, King and God in sacrifice. Alleluia, alleluia, earth to heaven reply. Oh, star of wonder, star of night, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light. Thy perfect light.
It's always such a beautiful song and a reminder of how God guides us and that light that's always still there all these years later. Let's think about our final verses, Matthew 2, verses 10 through 11, as we're thinking about the Magi when they visited Jesus. When they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceedingly great joy. And when they had come into the house, they saw the young child with Mary his mother, and fell down and worshipped him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented gifts to him, gold, frankincense, and myrrh. So let's always remember that the first reaction of the wise men was to worship Jesus and to follow him. And then immediately after that, they offered their most precious gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Let's always think about how we can give our best to God through things that we do for others. Hope you guys have a blessed week. Goodbye.